Don't say it, Nero warned. If you say who fiddled while Rome was burned, I will have Vince and Gary flay you for a set of hide armor. You know as well as I do, Apollo, we don't have fiddles back then, and I did not start the great fire of Rome. I struggled to my feet. But you profited from it. Facing Nero, I remembered all the tawdry details of his rule, the extravagance and cruelty that had made him so embarrassing to me, his forefather. Nero was that relative you never wanted to invite to Leprechanica dinner. Meg, I said, your stepfather watched as 70% of Rome was destroyed. Tens of thousands died. I was 30 miles away in Antinium, Nero snarled. I rushed back to the city and personally led the fire brigades. Only when the fire threatened your palace. Nero rolled his eyes. I can't help it if I arrive just in time to save the most important building. Meg cupped her hands to her ears. Stop arguing, please. I didn't stop. Talking seemed better than my other options, like helping Nero or dying. After the Great Fire, I told her, instead of rebuilding the houses on Palatine Hill, Nero leveled the neighborhood and built a new palace, the Dominus Aurea. Nero got a dreamy look on his face. Ah, yes, the House of Gold. It was beautiful, Meg. I had my own lake, 300 rooms, frescoes of gold, mosaics done in pearls and diamonds. I could finally live like a human being. You had the nerve to put a 100-foot-tall bronze statue in your front lawn, I said. A statue of yourself as Sol Apollo, the sun god. In other words, you claim to be me. Indeed, Nero agreed. Even after I died, the statue lived on. I understand it became famous as the Colossus of Nero. They moved it to the Gladiators Amphitheater, and everyone began calling the theater after the statue, the Colosseum. Nero puffed up his chest. Yes, the statue was the perfect choice. His tone sounded even more sinister than usual. What are you talking about? I demanded. Oh, nothing. He checked his watch, a mauve and gold Rolex. The point is, I had style. The people loved me. I shook my head. They turned against you. The people of Rome were sure you'd started the Great Fire, so you scapegoated the Christians. I was aware that this argument was pointless. If Meg had hidden her true identity all this time, I doubted I could change her mind now. But perhaps I could stall long enough for the cavalry to arrive. If only I had a cavalry. Nero waved dismissively. But the Christians were terrorists, you see. Perhaps they didn't start the fire, but they were causing all sorts of other trouble. I recognized that before everyone else. He fed them to the lions, I told Meg. He burned them as human torches, the way he will burn these 6. Meg's face turned green. She gazed at the unconscious prisoners on the stakes. Nero, you wouldn't... They will be released, Nero promised, as long as Apollo cooperates.